Holy moly moly. How you doing there, kiddies? What is happening? Let me go back to my opening screen. I don't know why I'm out of breath. I think it's because lately I'm exhausted all the time. I don't know what's wrong with me. But that was super fun. That is a track called New York City from Joe Bergamini's book Arrival, which actually I'm going to show the chart from that in a little bit. Hopefully, I didn't check my chat window tonight. Hopefully that's working. I'm going to jump in there in a minute. I kind of blew my opening because I started the track, then I realized that I had the wrong screen up. Oh, it was the right screen with the wrong icon. I wasn't ready for the announcement yet, so I accidentally made an announcement. I'm going to go back. So anyway, that tune is from Joe B's book, Arrival, which, if you don't have it, you should have that book. It's got some great tunes in it. Really, really super fun stuff. And really melodic tune right there, sort of a rock fusion-y thing. Definitely digging that one, New York City. And that's the first time I played it. And so I was reading that. Here's my chart. But very cool tune. And I love the hits in it. Yeah. So, and I am going to, let me just see. I just want to make sure that my chat window is functioning. It looks like it's functioning. I can't read it, but it looks like it's functioning. Let me pull up my other chat queue. Well, actually, I'll just look over here. Yeah, man. Lucia, what's up? John Gill, what's happening? You got it, brother. That was great spending time with you on Friday. Bob Sears, what's happening? Look at this. I got my regulars all asking each other how everybody is doing between one another, which I love. Yeah, man. What is happening, all? Cool. Yeah, I am going to pull up my little, give me 1 second. I'm just going to pull up my little chat, my other chat queue, because then I could see it better. I meant to pull that over before, so I have to, like, kind of use my mouse across the room to pull up the little window. There it is. Cool. Let me drag this over to this side, so I'll actually be able to see it. And let's see. Oh, I can't type a message right now because I don't have a keyboard. But we'll see. Maybe it'll populate. Well, it is working because I see you guys in there, so that's awesome. By the way, real quick, let me just go back to my follow screen real quick. I'm going to do some housekeeping, and then I'll jump back into the chat. So, yeah, just want to thank my companies, Sabian Cymbals, ProLogic's Practice Pads, ProLogic Percussion. Man, I'm shooting stuff. I'm going to be talking about all their pads real soon, like this one, which I really love. This is just about the densest pad. This one makes you work for it, man. And the method pad I got over here, so I'm going to be talking about all these guys, including the bass drum pedal pad. You have to excuse me, I'm kind of losing my voice. I've been a little run down lately. And yeah, still, I thought I was out of the woods, but it's still a little rundown. And offset pedals and zoom cameras. And also check out my link tree for all my social media links and my Kitco page for fun little configurations on technology stuff. And my mailing list. You can join my mailing list, and I'll send you PDFs of things that we do in here, things that we do up in here. So I'm so happy to see all my peeps. I've been seeing everybody in the workshops and outside of the workshops, and it's been super fun. I do want to go back to my little live screen. I might be able to just pull it up in here, but let me go back to that live screen, and I'm going to bring up that picture that I turned off before, which is Michael Scott has won free drum book giveaway this week. So congratulations to Michael Scott. I have to send him the stuff, so everybody congratulate Michael Scott. Great guy. I did some technology training with Michael Scott, getting his rig together. Super talented guy, really sweetheart of a guy too. So Michael Scott, you won the drum book, you won the technology session, or whatever you want to do with your session, really. So we could do anything you want. It is your session. So Michael Scott, congrats on that. And, you know, to win the free drum book giveaway, all you have to do is go to this video tomorrow when it's archived, and in the chat, in the comments, just type in hashtag free drum book. I know it seems like a lot of work, but hey man, this thing retails for I think like 30 bucks, and so you get 165 pages of drum fills plus a coaching session. Why would you not do that? So anyway, so that's it. By the way, my Filling in the Grooves book is the play-alongs are in Hudson's play-along section on their website, and you can get the play-alongs a la carte. You can get the whole book. Joe B's NYC is up in those play-alongs, and I got the chart and his play-along that I bought today, even though I have his book. You know, supporting my brothers, right? So I got his chart and played that. I got about a few other charts that I'm going to be doing. And in upcoming masterclass clinic style session that I'm doing with Stephen Chamberlain, we're going to be playing to some Hudson play-alongs and talking about kind of how we're constructing things and how we're using those tracks and some drum set skills that go along with it. So it should be a really fun time. And let me do one more little bit of housekeeping, and then I'm going to jump back in the chat for a few. This is going to be a really loose session tonight. I have an outline of some fill ideas I want to talk about. I have an outline of some hand technique workshop stuff I want to talk about. I want to talk about the chart for NYC. So I'm just going to hit on a few various different topics. I want to hang with you guys and just chat a little bit, talk about some gear, and we'll do it. All right, so let me just hit this one other screen, and if I can find it, I put my glasses back on. Oh, my support screen. So that's my my virtual tip jar. So if you like what I do, you can support what I do right there. And I'm gonna go back to the live scene with the chat. And if my mom shows up, I got my mom's image ready to go. You never know, she might show up. I don't know. But yeah, I think there was one name that I didn't see. I got to come up really close. My apologies. Daniel Michael. Okay. The very cool. Get 5 free play along downloads on Hudson for SEN members. That's right. That's right. So if you're an SEN member, if you're an educator, a drum educator, and an SEN member, you get 5 free play alongs for being an SEN member. You probably got that code sent to you in your mailbox if you're an SEN member. So take advantage of that for SEN members. That's a beautiful thing. You got to love it how, you know, this community, we support each other, right? So it's a beautiful thing. Oh my goodness. Oh, now my chat window's starting to populate. Awesome. Yeah, so Jim Royal, what's up, brother? How's it going, man? Yes, I hope you saw my message back to you about the practice pads. I am shooting footage about that whole thing, and I'm going to kind of talk about why these practice pads. Why have I been using them for so long? And now I have students using them, which is really exciting. Like Lucia just got her Green Logics pad. You got to love it. Watching all these younger generations coming up using the best gear on the planet. Yeah, for sure. So hey, let me do a quick thing. I just want to talk about Joe B's tune a little bit one more time. And I think I have a split screen ready to go. And what I'll do is I'm going to bring up my split screen, and then we'll see if we can get the chart in there. Yep, we got the chart. So here's the deal with the chart. NYC, there it is. Hey, look at that. So the cool thing with these charts, by the way, is when you buy one of these charts from Hudson, you get the PDF file. Not only do you get that, but you get the Joe B version of it where he's playing the drums or whatever drummer is on the track that you are getting. So you usually will get a couple different versions. Like on this one, Joe's got click, no click, and him on drums. So you get the reference track and you can kind of check that out. So I think that's really super cool. So, and then of course, you know, in this chart, I don't have it up here, but in this chart, there are groove suggestions and fill suggestions and also how to approach the figures. So it's a great educational thing, and it teaches you kind of how to approach the tune and, you know, I've heard this tune before because I have the book, but I never really played it before, so it was really fun to dig in and play it and, you know, try to grab these little hits and see how they sit in the tune. But this one, I think John Gill said he just downloaded this one. I believe he said that. Let me see. I downloaded Joby's tune you just played. Look at that. So John Gill's got this tune as well. And so this is really kind of a fun, you know, super fun tune to play. It is a, you know, sort of slow 16th note feel. I'm just going to play that main feel. Oh, and it's got that figure at the top. Right? So great. So, I mean, you can start with that figure at the top. I just kind of played it on the toms. Of course, there's a lot of ways that you could hit that, but I did kind of this thing. Right, so that kind of sets it up. But you can, you know, of course, you could do a little. There's a lot of different ways to hit that. So super fun. It starts with that opening fill, and then we got this nice grooving 16th note feel. And then, then when it goes into the chorus, the feel changes just slightly, and it goes into this kind of sort of, you know, that kind of thing. And then there's a little figure, 1 and 2 and 4 E1. So that thing I chose to do kind of in the groove. And then I hit it harder a couple times. But yeah, sort of put the and. I mean, you could, you know, if you wanted to hit the whole thing, you could 1, 2, and. But I chose to play it more, you know, subtle. 1, 2, and. And then, so it comes back around, do that whole thing again. And then there's this setup, this little bridge, where it kind of opens up, that little sax melody comes in, and then it has that same 1, 2, 3, 4 E, 1, 2, da, and that's in the chorus, and the chorus kind of opens up, and I opened it up kind of big partway through. I spilled hot chocolate on my side snare. Not happy about that. Oh man, putting the hot cocoa on the side snare, that's not a good idea. But I'm going to drink some hot cocoa because, I mean, as long as my snare drum gets to have some, I might as well have some. So where's that little setup going into the chorus? And then the chorus kind of opens up, so I went to the ride on that. And let me see if I can, I don't know if I can just pull that up. I'll turn the volume down a little bit. Let me pull it over into the track. So, I left my my voice mic on, but yeah, so that's a super cool section. It's really big and open. I love that. It's super melodic, and then that cool little figure to go back where we go, you know, the turnaround. 1, 2, and then we're back at the top, and then goes through the whole tune again, does the whole thing. I set it up just slightly bigger the second time, and then it does 2 of those to go into the guitar solo. So after the second chorus, it's really cool. He's got this and it does the top of the tune again. So we get to play that figure twice and set it up. Then it goes into that guitar solo, and kind of the guitar solo is sitting on that boom, and you know, you could definitely stretch out a little bit on that, but it definitely is asking for some support for that guitar solo. So keeping it really grooving is nice. I played in my head. I kind of played around with, you know, I could stretch a little bit, but I didn't want to get far from the groove, obviously. And then, you know, it goes sort of back to the head, and then there's the coda, and the coda does this, you know, the that setup. It's boom, and it ends with the opening riff, which I think is super cool. And I will say that the last chorus after the guitar solo, that's where I kind of opened it up bigger on the cymbals. So let me see if I can kind of demonstrate my idea for that. Really simple. Where are we? Second one. Such a killer little tune, right? Man, that is happening. That is a killer little tune, Joe B. Digging that, man. Well, I'm definitely going to do that with some students and find some little fun little pathways that live inside of that. Man, I was so bummed I got hot cocoa all over this 10-inch snare. You know, it was kind of time for a new head anyway. Meh. All right, so anyway, NYC, yeah, super fun, man. Joe B is a really talented guy. By the way, his Neil Peart book, which is really incredible. Can I pull that thing up? Taking Center Stage. I have Lucia working out of that right now. Very proud of Lucia. She's doing awesome. And and Joe B's Zeppelin book is really awesome. Drum Techniques of Led Zeppelin, I think is the name of it. I don't remember the name of it. What is wrong with me? But Joe B has one of the best Led Zeppelin books that there are. The transcriptions are super on it. I agree with those transcriptions. Most of you that know me know that I'm really a stickler for having really good close transcriptions. Yeah, man. So let's see. Dan Andre, what's up, dude? What's happening? You like my shirt? Frank Perry, for those of you who know Frank Perry, he was like, man, I got to get me one of those shirts. But I kind of had a funny little story about it because I don't say it like, meh, you know, like, kind of like, eh. That's the way I use meh is, and a student pointed this out, Vincent LaRussa, that I would say something and then just my silly personality would be like, meh. And it kind of sounded like, meh. So he was like, yeah, you need that shirt. So anyway, cool. All right, so I know I said I'm going to do a couple little different topics tonight, and I think what I'm going to do here, if I can pull it off from across the room, I was going to talk about a little something from the Hand Technique Workshop. So I was kind of pulling together both of my shows tonight because the reason is I'm not live streaming on Thanksgiving. Obviously, we're going to be doing Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. So my Thursday night live stream isn't happening this week, and I figured I don't want to do it on a different night and step on somebody else's live stream that I'm buds with. And I figured let's just touch on some stuff in this stream about that stream and kind of bring it all together, kind of bring it into a whole sort of Sir Mix-a-Lot of things. So this one I just want to talk about, which is the newest little routine, which I've been kind of working on with students, getting them up to speed on it. And it's kind of a fun little thing. It's got a little bit of a Brazilian feel to it. And I was just going to talk about it a little bit and play it on the snare drum and kind of accent with the bass drums just so you can hear the flavor of this thing. And then kind of the concept of changing the rate in this thing inside of it. So, and just real quick, before I start breaking that down, let me hit the regular chat window. I just want to make sure if my mom popped in that I don't miss her. Because, you know, every once in a while she pops in here, man. I got to say hello. Live stream with chat. And if she doesn't show up, yeah, I want to see mom in there. Man, I love the way you guys interact with each other. That's so awesome. There's mom. Live stream with mom. By the way, if you like what I do, subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the little notification bell and like the videos. I really appreciate that. That goes a long way. It's really important to me, so I appreciate that. All right, cool. So let me hit this monitor split screen one more time, and then I'll come back to you guys in the chat in a moment. So this little routine is based on the mostly the single flam mill, which is one of my favorite rudiments. And if you take that single flam mill and just pick any two voices on your drum kit and play it, it really goes a long way. It's really an interesting sticking. So and by the way, the single flam mill is number 7 from Stick Control with a flam in the front. You could think of it like that. It's a reverse paradiddle, or a diddle in the front, as I call it, with a flam. And so, you know, here's the basic sticking. Right, left, left, right, left. And you have that grace note, that single grace note in the front, that flam. So shutting off this mic 1 second. So just splitting it on the hi-hat and snare right and left, just like this, I think it sounds really great. It has a lot of value to me, I think. Or if you cross. Sounds great that way too. And depending on which hand you put in the lead, or which surface you put in the lead, the patterns sound different. And I did this the other night where you take away one hand and listen to what the other halves sound like. So if we're going, right? So it's got a really, really interesting sound to it. I like that bell pattern a lot. Now, if we put it on the floor tom, it's got an interesting sort of sound to it. So, you know, playing around with that. So now, this little piece uses the single flam mill, but in the very first measure of it, we have a single flam mill 5, which is what I'm calling it, but it's just a single flam mill with an extra stroke. So right, right, left, left. Right, so that's that single flam mill 5, and we are mixing it with a group of 3, so it becomes 8 anyway, but I kind of like the idea of messing with that single flam mill 5. Now, to the single flam mill 5, we attach a Swiss Army triplet, which puts it back into 8 notes. So we just have 2 beats with that. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. So the 3 is where I'm starting the next single flam mill. So anyway, 1 E and a 2 E and a is the single flam 5. I mean the single flam mill 5. Plus Swiss Army triplet. Really interesting little sticking. If we split that so you can hear it. Interesting little feel there. And then we just answer that with 2 single flam mills. So it's pretty simple. So it's got this, you know, also a street beat kind of feel. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So that's the little sticking that we're using on this particular routine. And that's the first 3 measures, right? And so you can always put it here. So there's our first 3 measures. And it's, you know, again, I implore you to, you know, put it on some different surfaces, see what it sounds like. Now, you go through the first 3 of those identical rhythms, and then we answer that with Swiss Army, Swiss Army, Swiss Army, Swiss Army 4. Right? So really simple. 1 E and 2 E and a 4. And then it will start back with that first melody again. So very musical. It's kind of a song form routine that we're using in the hand technique workshop. So here's that whole intro. So now it's starting to play that melody again. It only plays it 2 more times, and then we augmented it with something. So I'm going to talk about that real quick. We go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a. And the next measure has a triplet on the 4th beat with a flam accent. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 triplet. And that 4 triplet, which is the end of the 4th line, brings us into a triplet version of the whole melody. With a little slight variation to it, but it's mostly the same sticking, just put into triplets. And when we go into the triplet version of that, you know, I'll talk through the sticking real quick. It goes into 5/4 time. Okay, so here's that the last 2 bars. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 now we're into the new sticking, which is single flam mill 5 plus Swiss Army triplet in triplets. So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 trip, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 trip, right? Single flam mill 5, Swiss Army triplet, and then we do a single flam mill. So we get 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 5. And when we get to the 5th beat, it's a flam accent. 5 triplet, 5 triplet. So, it's a terrible explanation. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 5 triplet. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 5 triplet. And that's the triplet version of it. And it really is playing the same inflection, we just changed the rate. It's kind of an interesting thing that happens. So if we're going, let's see. So that's the way we're playing it. Same idea, just we changed the rate. And we do a lot of this in the workshop. Rate changing kind of stuff where we're playing similar stickings and changing the rate up. And then as we come around to that, we play that 3 times as the triplet thing. And then what we do is we put in a single flam mill on the end to bring us back into the 16th note thing. So we have smooth transition. And then we go back to the 16th note version of this single flam mill idea again. So, and then we end with a theme sort of like the beginning, which I didn't talk about before, but the intro theme is 1 E, a 2 F, E, 4 L, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3. And then the end is just kind of half of that, 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So it's sort of a song form, isn't it? So here would be the whole thing. So that's really the whole deal, the whole schmagetti. And it's, you know, like I said, song form kind of, you know, we're exploring more melodic ideas in the workshop. And I dig this one a lot. And actually this came from kind of doing that on the drum kit before I ever conceived of this thing. It was sort of playing as fills. So... So that's kind of where those ideas came from, and all this stuff, you know, those could work as fills as well. So it's just some drum set stuff that I kind of formed into this little idea. It's stuff that I go to, kind of things that I play on the drum kit that I said, oh, let me make a routine out of this. And I try to do that with things that I do on the drums and involve them into routines so that at least the skills cross over. So I never want to write something that's only going to be a practice pad routine and it's never going to translate to the drum kit. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I try to make everything kind of related to what we do, right? Checking in with the chat one more time over here. Man, this session goes by quick. I have to say, time just flies, dude. Don O'Keefe, what's up, brother? I saw your email today. We do have to catch up. I know everybody's dealing with some crazy technology things these days. Trying to figure out why GoPros don't want to listen to anybody. Yeah, that's kind of a thing. That's been a theme lately. GoPro better get their game up or somebody else is going to come along and steal the market. So, yeah, man. Twitch is in here, but that doesn't look like a normal thing. Let's ignore that. All right, so maybe I'm gonna go through a couple little fill ideas that I've been playing around with. GoPro is melting my brain. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. For those that don't know what we're talking about, if you use GoPros for your live streaming, like I do, and I'm using a bunch of them right now, there are some versions of GoPros that they decide to just turn off whenever they want, and you know, it's kind of an annoying thing. Luckily, I have some older ones that I'm using on this side of the room that they don't do that. Well, actually, if they're connected to switchers that are good switchers, I've not seen that problem anyway with like Roland switcher, A10 mini switchers, those. With some of the cheaper little AB switchers, it's happened. So any of you guys that are dealing with that, ask me about that because I'm getting some insight into it. Don is getting some insight the hard way into it. Yeah, as did my my student Hannah in California, who's dealing with some GoPros that were shutting down on her. And you know what's kind of funny? We had the same GoPro, and mine didn't do it, and hers did. So who knows? It's kind of a wacky thing. All right, cool. So I was going to talk about this one little thing, which is kind of related to last week, and it is this idea, and it's really just the end of a fill, and then what can you do at the end of this fill? So the last little piece of the fill is this. So we're starting from the end of the fill, and then we're going to fill in what goes before it. So now, really simple, right? 1 triplet, 2 triplet, or we're doing it on the 4. So 4 triplet and triplet, 4 triplet and triplet, okay? And I'm going to put in placeholder. So we get this. So I'm hitting that little chick, and I know I was getting a little bit, you know, triplety on you guys. I meant to keep it a little straighter. 1 and 2, 3 and. All right. So that little thing I've used in some fills in my book, and Pat Ross brought it up recently where he said, "Oh my God, that fill is in 5/4 time," and I agreed with him for during our lesson, and then I realized it wasn't in 5/4, and it had that little answer on the end, and it actually works out. It was just a lot of 16th note triplets, very broken up 16th note triplets, but that 4 trip, so that little thing at the end. Oh, Lucia, it's so funny. My chat is like finally catching up, and she's talking about the routine in the chat, and it's like my chat window and your chat window are in different parts of time. So which I love that. So So I'm kind of setting it up with various lengths of fills, but it's such a great exit strategy. And so, you know, sometimes, especially that tempo and that swing tempo right there, I kind of start to enjoy kind of the push and pull of the triplets in there. But, you know, if you play something a little more normal, you could do some straight triplets into that. Or what I did, I don't know if you noticed, but so I played some 16ths and then went into the triplet thing, which is also a great little tension builder. So you're playing some straight 16th notes before you do that little triplet idea. And I also do this where I just play straight triplets at the end after a straight feel. It's that push and pull and tension building. So we have this. There's another way to hit that, right? Instead of, I hate when my mic is on because I really hear it now. But doing, right? So, or decorate that with some metal objects on your drum kit. So here's some few different little ideas. So it doesn't have to be real big going into that, but just some fun little exit strategies. So on that one, I realized that we could just give them, and I'm doing some 2-bar fills. I know I'm just getting a little fun with it, but you know, listen, it's fun to hit the drums. I can't help myself. I must do it. So, and oh, and one of the other things, I'm like almost out of time, but what I was going to say is, earlier I was messing around and I was going to talk to you guys about a couple little really simple double bass things, if you wanted to do them. And you could mix these two ideas, I think. Let's see. And basically all that is 1 stroke on top, 5 on the bottom. And I use my non-leading foot for the 5 on the bottom. I use that one a bit if I need a double bass thing. If I need something with that extra punch in your face kind of double bass thing, I will use the 1 on top, 5 on the bottom. But you could mix and match if you wanted something bigger to happen in a tune, right? So we're kind of mixing styles almost, a little bit of, you know, simple triplet things with that exit strategy in there, maybe a double bass one in there, and just play with it. The other thing I wanted to mention is, and I was thinking about this earlier, is when I'm working on this kind of stuff and coming up with fills like for you guys, I'll do slow motion practicing. And, you know, you guys know the value of this, especially you drum instructors, you know, where I'll do, you know, really slow practicing and play this kind of thing. So really just taking my time and stretching the ideas. Because if you really take your time like that and you keep your tempo way down, your ideas will come to fruition. And you know, some of those little ideas when I'm stretching and playing groups of fives and whatnot, you know, those things are a lot easier to digest or to comprehend when you're playing them nice and slow. And you know, it's sort of a function of, you know, letting things evolve. And then the other thing I'll do is I'll just go back and I'll hear one thing that I like in there, and I'll go back and repeat that one thing, and then repeat it and repeat it, and then mess with it, and then stretch it and pull it, and then see where it goes before I go to paper and start writing this stuff down. And a lot of times I'll just flip on my phone, put it on video, and video myself stretching through some of these ideas, and then just play and just see what comes out. You know, especially if I'm working on a tune that maybe has some kind of weird feel, I might just loop on that feel really super slow for a long period of time and just let the ideas evolve. You know, there's so much value in that slow motion stuff. And you know, if you're working on something tricky, you know, you could be letting your brain and your hands get it together. Right? Before you take it to those blaring tempos where, you know, you might fudge it, you might not, but I do that first before I start taking the chance of like playing it super, super quick. I only have a couple minutes. I just wanted to say one other fill that I just thought of, which I could have done instead of the, well, anyway, it doesn't matter. By the way, if you have this arrangement of toms, and even if you don't, but if you have this arrangement of toms, that melodic structure I really love, and I tend to use that. And I've had people ask about, well, you know, how do you play that, or why does it sound like that? Because I'm just playing, let's say, En to 4 En, but I'll start it here. I stole that definitely from a couple of drummers. One is Tony Williams, because I always talk about how he would play melodically some of these sort of backwards ideas. So I kind of like that low-high thing. So that would be En to 4 En. And mess with that on your drum set so you're not always in the same direction. Like, I mean, obviously you could play... right? But I mean, it really sounds more interesting if you go from a different melodic standpoint. And you can even mess with the rate with that. So you have, right? So I went into a triplet kind of feel. And so if you have 4 drums, including your floor tom, 3 high toms, 3 rack toms, but if you only have this setup, you can put it there and make shorter phrases. And that sort of backwards melodic thing, which, believe it or not, Ringo Starr did a bunch of that because he was a lefty playing on a righty set. But yeah, so that one I kind of dig. Anyway, I just want to mention that. So those are kind of like a cornucopia of stuff tonight. We did some hand technique stuff. We did the Ode to Pat Ross. And we got to play NYC by Joe Bergamini on the Hudson catalog, so that was super cool. Oh, speak of the devil, Pat Ross was in here for a moment. Oh, yeah, I hear you, brother. That's all right. We're getting wrapped up, but we mentioned you earlier. So listen, tonight was kind of a big mishmash of stuff, which I enjoyed, and I'm glad you guys hung with me. Hopefully you got something out of that. Out of that mishmash of stuff. Yes, John Gill, I see that. I will definitely check my Facebook messages. Just so you guys know, if you reach out to me, excuse me, on Facebook Messenger, it's the last thing I check, unfortunately, but it usually takes me a little while to get there. I eventually get there. If you hit me up on a text or an email, I'm much quicker getting back, generally. Facebook Messenger, I tend to be kind of bad about getting there because I'm not on Facebook much, even though I stream there. Because during the working day, I have my notifications turned off, but I am checking my email all the time because that's how I schedule work. So anyway, so just so you know, you can always hit me up on a email. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. So I hope everybody has an amazing Thanksgiving. What? You just lost power? Bob, I'm so sorry, man. You lost power. I hope it's not too cold tonight, man. Well, maybe you got to build a fire in the backyard. Unless, you just lost electricity, but you still have heat. I don't know how that works in your place. But anyway, I'm sorry that you lost power, Bob. Everybody have an awesome Thanksgiving. I just wanted to, to wish everybody that, and that we won't be streaming on Thursday, obviously, so we kind of did a mix-up tonight. Hope you enjoyed it, and God bless to everybody. Enjoy Thanksgiving with your families and your friends, however you're doing that. Do it safe. We are now, like myself and some of my peeps in here, we're living in Staten Island, where it's a hot spot, which just if you're a Staten Islander and you don't know this, hotspot does not mean it's a hot place to be. Let's party. It means there's a lot of COVID going on. So put your damn mask on and be good and stay in your house and don't bring your germs over to everybody. My family all works in the hospitals, so we see what's going on, and things are starting to go through the roof. They're running out of space, so this is not good. Yeah, so, Don, what? No hand technique on Thanksgiving? I'll be using the drumsticks from my turkey. All right, so awesome to have everybody in here tonight. I'm a little hoarse. I'm losing my voice. I'm going to go eat some dinner now. And thanks for everybody hanging with me. I really appreciate it. It was super fun. Enjoy the holiday. And I'll see you guys next week on Monday for the next live stream, which will be 7 o'clock next Monday. And then we'll be back with the hand technique workshop, of course, on next Thursday. And I'll see you all soon. And stay tuned for Stephen Chamberlain and I are doing a masterclass workshop clinic thing on Saturday, December 5th. So sign up for that. DM me if you didn't sign up yet. It's going to be super fun. We're doing some giveaways. We're going to have a great time. And I'll see you guys real soon. All right, everybody. Have an awesome night. Take care.